Now, part of the spiritual journey is as we are progressing towards the higher centers. At Enlightened Global, in our work, we actually start our meditations behind the eyes. So we never go down below the eyes. And the reason for that is because when we focus on anything under, we are just simply connecting with the energy centers, the chakra systems. So it's really interesting. Chakra systems are fascinating. And when we focus on them, there's a lot of psychic phenomena that comes along with it. So there's like little magic. So people start to see wolves, and they start to see this, and they start to see angels, and then they start to see elders or forefathers or whatever. Sometimes past lives, and sometimes it's just visions and images come. Now the power to interpret is not there. The wisdom and the knowledge is not there because you haven't awakened the centers of awareness yet. You're just playing with the psychic phenomena. But many souls for many centuries sometimes can get lost in the visions and these images, and they start to believe them to be real, and then they interpret them. For instance, when past lives was such a big thing, everybody wanted to be Cleopatra. Nobody wanted to be the black cat that Cleopatra probably had, or not, So it's like I was this, and I was this, and I was a warrior, and I was this. Now you get involved in the psychic phenomena, and that is just mental projections. They're not even on the astral plane. It's not even imagination. It's just envisioning something. So in hardcore spirituality and conscious development, we really need to be cautious. And the teachers and us especially, we cannot allow any hijacking to take place. We just can't have that because you lose your path very easily.
So this is really important because when people start on this journey, on this path, people start to see some stuff. There's some visions they see, some colors or stories. Now, where are these visions coming from? They're coming from a mind. Because who is seeing? You are seeing your vision. And it's okay. You see stuff, right? But the problem is when you start to analyze and you get attached to your vision. Now, I've seen very often where you could tell somebody, do this. They'll listen to you, but they may not do it. But when they say, oh, I had this vision, my grandfather came to me in my vision and he said, do this. I said the same thing, But it's because the vision came, the grandfather probably never even was spiritual, right? So it's your mind's creation. It's really, really important not to get tangled up in these stories. See, the clearer you keep your slate, the better off you will be. Because your mind is like you have this box. Now imagine your mind to be a box where there's trillion little things in it. So things will keep popping up. Sometimes you'll see a cat, sometimes you'll see this, sometimes you'll see your grandfather, sometimes you see a Learjet. It's not important what you see. Even if you see, don't dwell on it. Just let it bypass like a thought. When you have a thought, you don't get attached to the same thing with your vision. So don't get attached. Keep your slate as clean as possible. That's my take on it.
Yeah, it's the focus is so important because these things do defocus us, and they take us out of time, out of the present moment, and we get into the la world of some imagination, feeling good about ourselves, feeling angry about something else. It doesn't matter what. We have actually bypassed the present moment. So spirituality is acting out all the time. It's spontaneous action that comes from intuitive knowing, not the way from these visions. Because these visions are not signposts. People think that they are somehow signs along the way. And I have seen people lose relationships, lose their money because of this bad signage and bad interpretation of those signs. So we just can't afford to have that anymore because it's quite prevalent. It doesn't matter which culture. Everybody likes a story, and then you get lost in the story. But you forget you created a story, and so many centuries you've been creating stories. When are you going to go home? Let's not escape going home and replace that with just storytelling. Yeah.
One more thing I want to add is, see, this energy we have is one huge infinite energy field, right? has multiple universes. You know, there's so much out there. Now, what is mind?
Right.
You know, mind is a box which has divisions in it. And what does these visions do? They create more divisions. And
Yes.
when people see these angels or certain gods, if you go to India, there's like 100 gods, right? So what does these gods, certain, oh, I'm worshipping this god, I'm worshipping
Yes.
that god.
Yeah.
You know, I saw this god in my vision. No, interestingly, you never see a Caucasian from Canada see a Hindu god, right? He'll see Christ. Or a Hindu from India won't see Christ in his vision. So they'll only see
Yeah.
what's programmed in the mind. So don't have more divisions. Keep your slate really
Yeah.
clear.
Yeah.
You know, it's an infinite field out there.